after you have reached out and you've gotten those resources, and you're in a stable place. I think the next thing that we need to be concerned about in social work is relating to others. Hello, and thank you once again for joining me, Jan Harp, on whichever social media platform you are watching this. I definitely thank you for your time, and we just want to spend a few moments once again discussing COVID-19 as it relates to social work. One of the things that I encourage you to do in the last video is to find your voice. Find your place to vent. Find your place to be able to locate resources. Find your place where you can hear from other people who are trying to make decisions and sort things out during this unclear time, so that way you can have a sense of community surrounding some of the things that are, complicated when it comes to trying to figure out what is the best decision, what is the best way to tackle this new type of a norm that we are facing, right? We have a section of society right now who is questioning another set of norms, cultural norms. It is definitely a new environment with everyone trying to be culturally conscious, and people are trying to take into consideration, a different way of seeing what we have come to feel is the norm. The norm is that certain things happen, and we kind of turn a blind eye to it. And now we've come to see that as covert racism. So whereas before, certain things would happen, and it was just like, that could be justified. Now it's like people are saying, well, maybe that might be police brutality. And whereas before, maybe something didn't seem like such a bad circumstance, and everyone around you looks like you and thinks like you and seems like you, and so you say to yourself, oh, you know what, this is a really cool place to work. And now that people are questioning that norm, you're saying, wait a minute, why is it that everyone in my job looks like me, talks like me, thinks like me, and thinks like me, and oh, wait a minute, actually, I don't want to contribute to systemic racism, and these people who are around me don't seem to care if they're contributing to systemic racism. Or maybe they're outright biased and racist, and you didn't realize that about them, and now you're trying to figure out, how in the world do I continue to be around this person, deal with this person, now that I realize that this person is not okay with changing something that might not be the best parts of our society. So the thing is that as our society is starting to reconsider the way that we have always seen things, reconsider how we look at what is normal, we are now figuring out how do we adjust to new norms being formed from our decision making. So it's up to many of us to decide, are we going to be a part of the change? Are we going to resist the change when so I mean, you are facing a situation all the time of what do I do next in this new, COVID environment? What do I do next? So the thing is when it comes to cultural competency, I think that that's a place where, once again, venting is definitely helpful, but action is what helps you to overcome feeling powerless. You have to make up your mind to say what you need to say, and understand that the same way that you had the internal fortitude to go out and find the first job, the same way that person had confidence in you is the same way someone else will have confidence in you if by some chance you speak your mind and it's not received in a positive light. If you feel as though you have been silenced for very long, you've said that, this is a problem, and now people are willing to hear you about the problem, this is the time to have the healing, the internal healing and the internal peace, to be able to sit down to the table with people who you may feel offense with or you may feel scorn from, and be able to have a conversation with them about what it was that you were trying to say before in light of what's going on right now. So I think that it's an opportunity for people on both sides of the table. Number one, to have conversations and understand that you're going to hear things that you may not have taken into consideration. And also on the other end of the spectrum is to have those conversations and allow yourself to overcome some of the fears that you faced in speaking your mind, because up until now you've probably been penalized for speaking your mind, and you may think to yourself that even in this situation, and maybe rightly so, I can be penalized again for speaking my mind. But the thing is speak your mind. I think that if you have a truth, you should stand in that truth. And I think that when we don't stand in that truth, clinical problems begin to develop. Many times people go on these sites like the gossip sites, and I'm sure that some of you have seen it. Nick Cannon, he just recently apologized for something that he said. Before him, it was Snoop, the rapper Snoop Dogg, had apologized for what he said. I'm not going to say, how I feel about it either way. I just think that if freedom of speech is freedom of speech, then if someone feels a certain way, they should be able to say it, and they should be able to say, I apologize if it offends you, but this is my truth. Because people tell me their truth in all different kinds of ways. Someone may say, I don't think that you're the right person for this job. Or someone may say, I don't like light-skinned people. I only like dark-skinned people, Or someone may say, I'm only interested in hanging out with this group and not that group. And because that's just our little social decisions, you don't really look at it and apply it to broader context. People saying, I don't like your whole race. I don't like your existence. And it's similar. The only difference is that in one situation it's just bias, where it's somebody's opinion and no one cares. In the other situation is racism, where it's systemic and there's power behind that voice. There's power behind that belief. And it's up to, I think, all of us as a collective to find our therapeutic space so that we can actually sit down and discuss those things. Where do you feel safe to actually have those conversations? No, like just a place for you to sit down and say, I did not realize that I was contributing to systemic racism. I never took into account how someone might feel if they were the only one at the office. I never thought to myself, that that's probably a product of systemic racism. The fact that it's okay that there are no, minorities that work here, or there's only one minority that works here at a time. I didn't take into account that they get paid less than me, even though they may have more experience and more education than I do, and yet I'm the supervisor, and they've been working here for 10 years and they can't seem to get promoted. And I've always looked at it as maybe they weren't tenacious enough, maybe they weren't enough of a go-getter. So the thing is that everyone is being challenged right now. We are being challenged as minorities to are we going to speak up? Are we going to stay in the fight, or are we going to just sit down and say, what, I'm powerless, nothing ever changes, and then nothing changes? So, I encourage people, everyone has their lane. Everyone can find their part. And, the thing is, have you found your part? So far away, from a situation that is no longer, in your mind, certain conditioning on how you respond to stuff. So the only way that you can change the conditioning that's in your mind is if you put in the effort to do it. Like, no matter how much outside input you get, information you get, how much you vent about it. Venting is good, but no matter how much you vent about it, unless you put in the work to change that conditioning, then you'll be stuck right there. So the thing is that, even when it comes to societal issues, you have to be able to be open and honest with yourself. You need to have a space where you can be open and honest about things. If you know enough about what's going on to care a little bit about what's going on, then you should do even more research to understand what's going on. And then outside of that, figure out your part in how to affect change with what is going on. Just find your place, find your part. And I promise, it will make you feel good on the inside, knowing that you're not powerless, knowing that you do have a part, and knowing that your part makes a difference. So, of course, we always welcome you to contact us at Holistic Coaching and Firmly Established. If there's any service that we have that can help you to achieve whatever goals you have in mind, whatever it is that your heart is seeking to accomplish, if one of our services can help you do that, we are more than happy to assist you with your endeavor. Of course, if you need free assistance, we do have that, because we are social workers over here, and our goal is to help. Our goal is to definitely help and assist. So you're trying to start a business, you need some free products, go to our free products page. If you are trying to deal with systemic racism, you're trying to figure out, how has this impacted me mentally? How is this impacting my behaviors and my actions? And how is this limiting me from living my best life? Or how are my actions limiting others from living their best life? If you want to explore those things in a safe space, then definitely give us a call. We have one more video in this series. You're going to see the same outfit again because I'm doing it all in these short snippets. I was told slice it up into snippets. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm hoping that this information is quick, concise, to the point, and that it is helping. So we appreciate you for watching. I appreciate your support. Please hit the heart and the share. Hit the buttons. We thank you for sharing this with others. We thank you for helping us to get this information out. And we believe that therapy may not solve everything that's going on in your life, but it will definitely give you the ability to look at it in such a way that it will help you to navigate it more peacefully and with joy. So we thank you. We thank you for your support, and we hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day.